For genre fans, this is our version of Beauty and the Beast. In the Belko Experiment, the Belko industry gets put on lockdown when an intercom comes on saying if they don't kill a certain amount of their employees in a certain amount of time, they will double it by detonating the tracers that were implanted in the back of their heads. This, of course, begins panic and mayhem throughout the Belko industry as people are dying left and right in hopes that they could survive. Ladies and gentlemen, I was really looking forward to the Belko Experiment because this comes from the mind of James Wan, who gave us a really great little film. You've probably seen it, called Slither. So I was really looking forward to just watching a pure sort of grindhouse midnight movie. And ladies and gentlemen, the Belko Experiment is just that. This is a sort of pulpy, satirical look at big business corporations, and if you just want to go and grab your genre buddies and just have a fun time while watching this movie, then I think you will have just that. I think the Belko Experiment works great for genre fans. I think if you're someone who's not a fan of the genre or a fan of these type of movies, you're certainly not going to like this movie. This movie is plagued with a ton of problems, but here's the thing about the Belko Experiment. It's trash. But it's my kind of trash. I loved how trashy this movie was. I loved how gory it was. I loved how just satirical it gets and how all over the place it gets. Sure, there are things that I had issues with, and particularly I felt like the direction was a bit stale. Also, I did feel like the ending to this movie left a bit to desire. I felt like this movie could have really gone heavy on some social commentary, but at the end of the movie, you realize that this movie is just plain surface face value, and I feel like we've had so many films now that have had social commentary that maybe if this film came out in the 70s, this ending would have worked, but it doesn't work in today's modern era. Regardless of the fact, the second act of this movie is really what we all come to see, and that is exploding heads, cheesy one-liners, and just pure R-rated mayhem. And that's exactly what the Belko Experiment delivers. I had so much fun watching this movie. My twisted little self couldn't break the grin on my face during a lot of these kills. And another thing in this movie that I think a lot of people will be upset with, but I kind of absolutely love about the movie, is that there's this side story going on in this movie that when it ends, some people will feel like, what was the point of it all? But for me, I kind of love that about this movie. I love the sort of unapologeticness to just get weird or to just, go off the rails at times. And I love the abrupt, absurd nature of how this side story ends. The Belko Experiment is like The Cabin in the Woods meets Battle Royale. And while it might not be as good as either of those films, it's still a worthy entry into this subgenre. It's trash, but it's my kind of trash. As a score goes, I'm going to give this film a 3 out of 5. So there you guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Belko Experiment if you saw the movie. And until next time, you guys, I'm the Slasher Movier, and you guys have just been slashed.